So
what?
Exactly. That's how I felt after yesterday.
GameFront!
Update!
GameFront!
Update!
Update.
Yeah.
All right.
Good start.
Yeah, that was actually a very good segue, Zach. We were going to talk about how we felt about the PlayStation 4 announcement. Zach already gave us his opinion. So what?
So I'm done. I can go now.
Yeah. Bye, Zach. It's the return of the notebook on the GameFront update.
Oh, you
guys
took notes?
That's a post-it notes. It looks like not really.
I don't.
It's a
know.
notebook.
Those were notes you took yesterday during the conference.
No. Actually, I watched a video. It's like the abridged version of the PlayStation 4 announcement. I just okay, these were the things that were on it.
Oh, I thought I saw that sitting over here earlier. Probably did,
but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So what?
So I just wanted to go down the list and get some quick thoughts from everyone about what they thought about the announcement of the PlayStation 4. What do you guys think of the share button?
So what? So what? A share button?
What?
Come on.
Moving on.
Well, I'm sorry. It's just, I don't see a need for a whole button dedicated to it. What they could have just done is said, here's an extra button that you can map out to anything you want. I don't necessarily need something dedicated to sharing.
Yeah.
Here's the button you press for firing.
Yeah, if you want it to be fire, it's fire. You want to share. But don't make it a share button because I could always use in-game interface. Well, I guess that if you're really, I don't know. I just think that it's not that big of a deal.
I'm sorry, Zach. Go ahead.
No, it's really okay. It's just, I don't know. I'm just ready for my Twitter feed or my Facebook feed tweet twats. Just to be.
Wait, what?
It's gonna be flooded by a bunch of people who are just putting up random videos or stupid things that I don't know. There's gonna be.
Yeah,
I want to cry.
It's something that I have to It's hard to really understand how it's going to impact gaming just from a press conference. It's something that I feel like we have to really experience.
Yeah, it's going to probably change the way Facebook and Twitter and all those things are working right now because it will make it a lot easier. And sometimes easy is not necessarily better. I don't know how many times you've seen people oh, this is what I'm eating. Yeah. Share. It's oh, I took a big dump. Share. It's honestly.
Essentially, we'll be getting the video game version of the big dump picture.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, it's hard for me to make that argument when I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are like, James just sent me another picture of this big dump, which would be also one of my game videos. I guess it's all in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Gaikai. What do we think about Gaikai?
I thought it was great back in June during E3. I was excited about it. Now that it's partnering with PlayStation, I think hooray for PlayStation. But I don't know. I thought Gaikai in itself should be used for more than just the PlayStation. Mm-hmm. But what makes me more concerned with it, and I'm sorry if I'm talking too long on the subject, but it says basically you can play your PlayStation 4 games on your phone, right? Is what it's saying. Now, if I can play my PlayStation 4 games on my phone or in a browser on Facebook or wherever, which is what they demonstrated at E3, why would I ever need to purchase a PS4?
Because you need to have the PS4 as the host server so that you can play it on
Can't you just rent a server from them? Can't you be like... Well,
I don't think you quite understand what exactly they were saying when they said that.
Maybe not. Well, please explain further.
Well, basically, it's the same thing that kind of the Wii... I think... From my understanding, it's basically the same thing that the Wii U does with its tablet. The Wii U acts as the server console, and it basically streams what would be on the TV onto the monitor on the tablet.
Mm-hmm.
And in the PlayStation's case, that would be it would be streaming what the PlayStation 4 was doing onto the Vita.
All right, so that makes more sense, and I can understand it. But the way that I was seeing it during the press conference of E3, they weren't talking about a system that was needed. They were saying that their servers, and they were describing it much more like OnLive. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And now that it's attached to a PlayStation, I just don't know necessarily if you need a PlayStation 4 when they could just have a cloud gaming service. Why doesn't PlayStation move towards that? Because that's what Gaikai sounded like they were working on.
Well, because it wouldn't make sense for Sony to not sell PlayStations if they didn't have to buy, or it wouldn't make sense for Sony to be part of a partnership where the consumer didn't have to buy a PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, moving on. Did you have anything to say about Gaikai, Zach? No.
Well, I have a little bit more. And this
No!
I have a little
Cut
bit
you
more.
off!
This is
Cut
the
you off!
only thing that I'm passionate about in the PS4. No, are you saying dumb?
Oh
because
wow!
of
I
me?
was just doing a song like the Grammys, but a Dum Dum just came out.
Oh, like I see.
James
So
walking
here's the
to
other
work
thing.
today.
I'm gonna
Dum,
roll
dum,
up these
dum,
sleeves
dum.
just in case I need to use my arm guns. Here's the other thing is you can, instead of installing an entire game, you can play just a portion of it, right? Like just the spot that you're playing at. And if you're looking at a demo in the store, you can just pick it up and start playing in the game there.
That seemed really cool.
It seemed cool, but here's what I'm thinking to myself is, do you need a hard drive if you or even to install an entire game? Can you just have like a buffer zone of where in the game you're playing so it doesn't take up space in your hard drive?
Yes, Zach.
Yeah. Hi. My thing I wanted to add was, did you watch the DICE thing that I watched where the guy basically explained how like the demo, like by putting a demo out,
Yeah.
like, I'm wondering if
that
in
was
the
really-
end this is going to be a similar thing, because if they're saying there's demos for, like, they want to have it, every game have a demo or at least playable, is that going to be an
Is that
issue?
good?
Yeah, is that a
Yeah,
good thing?
well,
Or
Do
is
they
it now
want
like
that?
Yeah, that was a really cool article that we never ever talked about at GameFront Update, was the demos killing sales for games. And if you can just pick up and play any part of a game, and you pick it up and you're like, oh, been there, done that part, and it wasn't that fun, I'm not likely to buy it or put any money of a rental into it.
Yeah. It's a good question. Will we see less demos in the future? Or...
Unless, are they thinking, is Gaikai going to cost you, or is it with PlayStation?
I don't know. I guess
Because, like, I guess it would make sense if, like, Gaikai was like, you had to, in a sense, be paying for the subscription, or I don't know.
In all likelihood, I have an uneducated opinion on Gaikai. I think it's exciting. I want to know what exactly is happening.
Which is funny because you actually attended their booth at E3, so you should have the most.
Well, when I was looking, I wasn't actually attending their booth. I was editing a video on the computer for it. I wish I had got to see it in person because I couldn't talk to them. But they weren't talking about a system. They were showing people playing Dead Rising on a cell phone. And they were showing, like, people... They didn't explain that it needed a console. I thought it was their service, like online. But yeah, so I don't really know how it's going to work with the PlayStation.
All right, so moving on. Killzone 4. What do we think?
So what?
So what? No, come on. Killzone 4 looked really pretty, guys.
I don't know.
It looked really good. Visually.
Yeah.
Ask me about the gameplay.
How'd the gameplay look?
It looked like Killzone 2 and 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty, but I honestly don't think it looked pretty enough to be on a PlayStation 4. I would be surprised if I saw that in a PlayStation 3, but not surprised. I would think to myself, wow, those are great graphics on the PlayStation 3, but to be like, everybody get ready for this moment, drum roll, and this is the video we see. I'm like, I like Killzone. I'm a PlayStation fanboy, so maybe I had too high of expectations, but it looked just like Killzone 3 to me. I could barely tell the difference in the graphics.
Okay, well, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, I mean, it was better, but would you be startled if you saw a game on a PlayStation 3 or on a PC right now that looked that good?
I wouldn't be startled. I would. I think Killzone 4, from what we saw, it was a slight step up over what I've seen of Crysis 3 on, really high-end PCs.
Okay. I have a bad judgment on it, and I know that because so many people say that I'm crazy when I'm like, 30 frames per second seems pretty much as good as it gets. So, yeah, I mean, but to me, maybe I just don't care about the graphics as much as I used to, but when PlayStation 2 was in its prime, and we saw videos of PlayStation 3 games, it was a world of difference, not a slight improvement from things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I can see that. Yeah. Okay. I got you, James. I'm coming around.
Coming around. Okay. I might be wrong.
The thing is about graphics in these next gen systems is that that's really the lowest thing on the totem pole of what I expect from a next gen console. I expect the power of a next-gen console to provide for new gameplay experiences that we have not seen yet.
And so you were probably impressed, and I was actually, by the million objects dropping in the city.
I wasn't impressed. I wanted to see what kind of application that could have in a game. Like Dead Rising is a game that would not be possible on a previous console because of the fact you can't spawn that many zombies on screen at once. I wanted to see what the next kind of Dead Rising game would be in terms of a next gen game.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
Just shoulder to shoulder with zombies. Fuck, I can't go anywhere.
Yeah, that's exactly
you
what
really
it was.
pushed it to another level.
World War Z, where you have zombie waves that are just.
But you could have more battles like Lord of the Rings the movie, when you're seeing like Helm's Deep, that battle. Like there's so many enemies on screen. Could you imagine if you could have that much in game?
I guess, but I feel like we've already kind of gotten to that point where you can recreate a Helm's Deep battle. Now, granted, you could probably with the new console, you can make that look a lot better.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, Zach, what did you think of the amazing gameplay of Killzone 4? The guy playing the game?
Oh, that guy was really good.
Oh, God,
he should keep his job.
I just was sitting next to you. I could almost feel like heat rising from your skin, like you wanted to murder him.
Yeah. I mean, if I knew him on the level that I know you,
you might forgive him.
Yeah, exactly. It was reminiscent of how I feel when I'm over there playing Dark Souls. I'm like, I know James, but if it was that guy next to me, I'd be like, punch to the face, controller out of his hand.
Infamous 3. What? And I give
these.
What?
Infamous 3? That wasn't announced. Get out of here.
Okay, I was just gonna say.
Get out of here.
I've been calling these games, they're
Is
numerical.
It Killzone 4? It's not Killzone 4.
It's not Killzone 4 either. You know, I feel like
half-assed journalism at its best.
I feel like there's a reason why they're doing it. I think there's a stigma right now in the gaming industry with sequels. So I think that they're trying to get away from the numbered thing.
I mean, after Mass Effect 3 and then Dead Space 3, I'm trying to think of what other trilogies have been towards
But
the end.
let's not kid ourselves here. It's Killzone 4 and it's Infamous 3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, come on. Infamous 3 is a completely different character we're looking at.
Yeah, but what are they going to...
I mean, if they have Cole in it, maybe. I mean, I don't know, because the whole Prototype 2 thing, but I don't know. It's not Cole. 3.
Well, I think one of the reasons they're getting rid of the numbers because they don't want people to be embarrassed of their life when they're playing. And this is myself. Like, I've played Call of Duty since, I think, 3. So if they were numbering it right, it would be like Call of Duty, 11 now? Or 10? That's 7 years that I've been playing Call of Duty. And it just becomes like, okay, really, it magnifies that we're just playing the same game over and over. So they
much like if you're watching Jason, Friday the 13th, the 7th one, you're kind of like, wow, are you still here?
You're still watching Jason.
It hasn't stopped Final Fantasy.
It's true, but Final Fantasy,
they use Roman numerals, so it's fine. It looks like letters.
Logic.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Next, The Witness. Let's try to go through these a little quicker. The Witness. Thoughts?
Well, cool.
Wait, why do we have to go through this quickly? We watched 2 hours of this bullshit the other day, so I think we can take our time.
All right, then take your time, Zach. Tell us all you thought about The Witness.
I'm going to take a nap, and then I'll tell you what I thought about it.
That was the one where you saw Jonathan Blow get up on stage, and you're like, great, I need to go to the bathroom. This is a perfect time.
Yeah, so I know nothing about The Witness, except I thought it looked like Mist.
It actually does.
The island kind of looked like the Mist Island if you said that.
Yeah, it actually... I was looking on Twitter, and a lot of people had that same thought, that this looks like Myst.
Does that add to the level of his, pretentious, ooh, I make these, really thought-provoking games, they're so original? No?
You really don't like Jonathan Blow.
Fucking hate that
guy.
Did
he do something to you?
It was from Indie Game.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Too far.
Yeah, you know what? Indie Game, the movie put it over the edge. He should have been like, look, if you're going to film me, don't do a silhouette. Okay, don't show me and do this black, very emotional, I'm so deep and people don't get me kind of thing. Oh God, it's like his shit doesn't stink, but it does.
I'm looking forward to Witness. I'm actually kind of sad that it's going to be a PS3 exclusive.
It's not. Good news, Mitch.
What?
It's going to be a PS4 exclusive.
PS4 exclusive. Shut up. Oh, God.
Right.
PS4 exclusive. Because I really am looking forward to that game, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be getting a PS4 at launch.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to get it either. I am still just waiting to hear what the Steam box is, first of all. But the Witness did look cool. I mean,
Yeah,
he made Braid? Is that what he made?
he made Braid.
I haven't finished that game, but from what I've played of it, it's amazing. So
It's a
if
good
that
game.
same, it's a good game. It emotionally moves you. If the Witness can get you emotionally involved in the game, I think I'll like it a lot. But if it's just puzzles, I'm not that interested.
I just hope I can live up to the expectations that he has of me as a gamer to appreciate his game. Fuck this dude, man.
Oh, watching the game, the movie. If you're confused as to why Zach
I'm
hates
going to rage right now.
Jonathan blows so much.
Yeah, Jonathan blows.
Yeah, that was clever.
Thank you.
Let's move on to Deep Down, which is the Capcom thing that they showed.
Oh,
That looks that was probably the most impressive thing
Yeah.
visually that we saw.
that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And to the extent where I'm not quite sold on the fact that that was actually rendered.
Yeah,
In-game.
did you see the HUD switch from
That's-
one side to the other?
Because it looked like when you're playing Uncharted and you switch which shoulder you're going over. So I think it is in-game footage.
Yeah.
But the only reason is probably the same thing you're thinking is the HUD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that looked really cool. I really hope that Dark Souls 2 is a next gen game and it looks like that.
Yeah, that.
I mean,
looked
Dark
really
Souls
cool.
2 has to be, right? I mean, if it's not coming out this year, the consoles are coming out. Chances are, like, they're not going to release it for the last two consoles, especially if they're after. Like, if it was coming out at the same time, maybe.
I mean, here's the thing, like, even though the introduction of a new console does not mean the immediate end of a previous generation.
No,
the PlayStation 2 lasted a long time after the PS3 came out.
But there wasn't,
and-
like, exclusive games that were just for PS2. Like, they were for both.
No,
that died out probably about 5 years ago.
that's true.
It
But
did. There was still some that they would put out.
I just don't think Dark Souls 2 could be
No.
clumped in there. Or, I mean,
Yeah.
like, they wouldn't do
Yeah.
that.
But you also have to consider, like, when a console launches, it probably is not going to have the same install base as something that has been on the market for as long as the PS3 and the Xbox 360 has. So there's still a substantial market of consumers that Dark Souls 2 could aim to be a part of.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's on the new consoles and the old consoles, which would probably mean that they would make it on the new one and port it to the old one, because it's too risky to put an awesome title like that on just one console where so few people have it.
Yeah,
They
and
wouldn't sell many copies.
And you also have to consider that Watch Dogs is a game that isn't going to be a next gen title, but it's also going to be on. It's confirmed for the Wii U, so if it's on the Wii U, it could be on the.
360.
I think they even said that it's going to be on all consoles. Right?
There's like a sheet that got sent out that said on all consoles holiday season or something like that.
So we could see something similar with Dark Souls.
Yeah, I expect that. I don't expect them to do it just for the previous one, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it does make more sense if they are going to just, anyway.
Okay, so moving on from that, do we need to talk about Watch Dogs? I personally thought Watch Dogs was the most impressive gameplay demo that they showed.
Yeah, I thought the deep one is it too deep? In deep?
It's Deep Down.
Deep
I
Down,
think it's
I
called.
thought that one looked the coolest, but we got a little more time with Watch Dogs, and I am more excited about that game than even as great as the Deep Down.
Yeah, we really don't know anything
Yeah,
about it.
it's.
Yeah, we don't know anything about it. I'm more excited about Watch Dogs.
I really think that was more of that might not even be a game in itself. I think that was just
Right, it was a working title, and it could be just end up being a demo, like how Square Enix did theirs.
Yeah, I think it was really just a showcase of the technology that Capcom is working on for PlayStation 4. But yeah, I was really impressed by Watch Dogs. I think it looks really awesome, and I'm still really curious as to what the multiplayer aspect of that game is going to be. It looked like there was another player controlling the cameras and trying to fuck with the player for a bit, and at the end of it, he kind of canceled the hack or something like that. So it's really interesting. I want to see more of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looked like. It looked like somebody was invading his game and and that would be really cool multiplayer.
Mhm. So yeah, now to finish it off, let's talk about some maybe looming concerns that we have over the PS4.
Wait a second, Mitch.
Yeah.
Are you forgetting something?
Oh, you know what? I am. There was a megaton announcement.
I don't know. Maybe they haven't heard it. You might want to sit down. This is big.
Hold on to your chair. If you're not sitting like I am, maybe grab your handles. There you go, like that. Shall we say it on 3?
I'm grabbing my love handles.
They'll keep you down.
Yeah, they will.
Okay, well,
They'll
I'm
keep
just
me
gonna say.
I'm sorry. That was just.
Knack! Are you excited
Blizzard!
for Knack?
Blizzard is developing for consoles, guys. And guess what?
is it?
PlayStation 4 is going to have Diablo 3.
Oh!
Yeah, that would be if we had an actual like CG.
The
department.
most disappointing game of 2012 is coming to the PS3
What is happening in
and
your head?
PS4. It's
Antlers?
explosions.
Many, many
Explosions.
What
are you doing?
Mitch, this is explosion. This is. I don't know what this is.
These are the dicks that
Oh
are
my
coming out.
God.
Of that. I'm a unicorn.
But yeah, that is that. I couldn't believe because the whole time I was like, "What is Blizzard gonna announce?" Like, "Oh, this is exciting!" And then that was huge disappointment.
Wow.
I bet
So,
you
yeah.
there's probably at least one Diablo fan that is gonna be upset.
The one Diablo.
But that's only because
still
they're still playing Diablo 2 and they didn't get a chance to try Diablo 3 yet. Don't worry, it's coming to the PS4.
Yeah, you'll be able to play it on your couch with 3 of your other friends.
Oh man.
What did he call that couch part? What was it?
Couch multiplayer?
Couch crawling, I think he said. He had some stupid term that he likes to call when him and his 4 friends play on the couch. Like,
one couch to rule them all.
Yeah,
He said
one
that was like
couch.
his one thing, like clever, very clever. Lord of the Rings reference.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So yeah, let's moving on from that. Let's talk about some looming concerns. There's some concerns out there right now about the PS4 not doing or not being able to play used games. They asked I forgot his name, some Japanese guy at Sony. They asked him straight up, will the PS4 be able to play used games? And he kind of dodged the question and kind of like wormed his way around it and eventually said, fine, yes, the PS4 will play used games. But
Only used by you yesterday.
yeah, there's people that are like, well, why did it take so long for him to answer that if there was such a clear answer? So what do you guys think? Do you think PS4 will do some sort of thing to prevent used games from being played?
So you mean like more codes, or like that kind of thing, like online passes, essentially?
Like, will they physically block used games from being played? Let's start with that.
My real question is, are we 100% sure that games are going to come on a disc at all?
I think so, yes.
I don't know for sure. I am still in the feeling that Gaikai is going to be doing something of streaming these games. So that might be why he's having a hesitancy, is because people aren't going to be going to the store and getting this. They're going to cut the middleman out.
An interesting point is that they did not show the hardware at this conference. So that I really don't think that they're going to go completely digital.
Well, it has a Blu-ray drive.
Does
They
it?
said that?
It's on our website.
It was.
Well, then,
Yeah,
someone
read.
But yeah, I don't think they're gonna completely cut out because they rely on retail. They rely on the GameStops.
And there's still
No,
a good
but
amount
that's
of the
only
population
because-
that does not have access to high-speed internet.
Yes, now James, the console is coming out holiday of this year. It's not. We aren't in the future yet.
You guys might not have gotten as far in the future as I have. And there might be some people out there without it, but I think that they're going to try to push it more and more to the side where you don't buy it. Because I
agree.
I think Sony, if anything, is pushing for that, because I mean they have the day one release, and then like now that they have Gaikai added,
they're gonna push towards there, but they're not there yet.
You might end up finding out that instead of what it used to be, where you can get a select few titles digitally, it might be that there will only be a select few games that you can purchase. Because they'll put their major titles like Call of Duty at the store that are going to sell to a whole bunch of people. But like some games, they may just make more exclusive, especially if they're talking about indie games. Do you know how much money you lose making a package, burning a disc, putting it in shelves? Now the question I would have is, are we as gamers going to win Because if they're spending less money putting it in a store, less money packaging it, they should be able to make the games cheaper, which maybe can cut out the fact that we won't have to buy used games because it'll be cheaper. Look at Steam. I've been buying too many games. They're so cheap. They're so cheap.
But initially, they're still, the main retail price at the beginning, initial release. Games don't, they're not like $30 now all of a sudden because of Steam.
Mm-hmm. I think we're gonna see. We're still gonna see disc purchases, but I think Sony's gonna try to make a lot of incentives. What are you laughing at?
No, it's just nice to know that he's somehow ready for the future of downloadable. You want to stick with the discs. It just makes me think of you. Like when you were like,
Mitch,
I'm going to stop at Blockbuster and pick up Mario Party 9. I was like, what the fuck? Blockbuster still exists?
Not anymore. It's going out of business. There's 55 days left.
Yeah, and
or something
we were
like that.
discussing how you should have held on to that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just hold up. Oh, you gave it up?
Yeah.
If they go out of business, what are they going to do?
Exactly. I think
Well,
the day
go rent
before we should just go over there and just...
Yeah, go rent a game.
Oh, wait. If you're planning on doing this at home, that will probably get you into legal problems.
Yeah, and we don't
They
know when your
probably will
Blockbuster
just
shut
charge
down,
you for the
so.
title and say, like, this is our liquidation. Like, get it from Mitch. Mitch has the rest of our money. Whoa, this is there.
Yeah. Where are you playing? Mitch.
Mitch. That guy over there.
So like I was saying, I think there's going to be more incentives for buying digitally. I think there's going to be more discounts, more bonuses for buying digitally. I think they're going to try to wean people away from GameStop without having actually, completely cut ties with retail.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be a gradual process, but I think that we are heading towards a digital age where discs are no longer going to be necessary. But we're not there yet, James.
Yeah, I know. This GameFront update today is long, but I have so many more. Maybe we can bring this back next week because I want to talk about it more. It's important to me. Right?
All
Let's
right.
move on.
Let's move on.
Not happy about it.
Anything else?
Oh, the hardware. Here's my thing with the hardware, though, of not seeing it. They don't have to come up with the hardware until probably 3 months before release, maybe 2 months. All they do is take whatever computer
No, they have to
and
come up with it
slap
by
something on
E3.
Yeah, that's true.
They have to come up with it by
But
E3.
until then, they can be as creative as they want because it's just a shell. The
Mhm.
insides don't look very pretty. So I'm not worried about what the box looks like because it's not going to change anything.
I can assure you, though, there are people who do because they are concerned that it will not match their TV, their TV stand, all that kind of stuff. There's people out there.
There's spray paint.
You're saying for color? I'm still thinking that it's going to be like this big. It's just going to be like something that you could just stick under your like a piece of paper. Because there's not going to be a disk drive. It's going to be nanotechnology.
Are you sure you don't just swallow it one time?
Now it's everywhere.
Yeah, that way you can just use any device you want.
I imagine it's going to be small. Everything's going to be smaller.
All right. Well, maybe we'll continue this discussion in a future GameFront update. I feel like we've gone on long enough. I feel like people are sick of listening to us talk.
I'm pretty sure that if they would have stopped watching. Anyone here now is probably wanting to, because if you're just like, God damn it, I can't believe I'm still watching this. Unless they were us yesterday watching the Sony press
That
conference.
is true. We can.
God, it went on for so long, guys.
Are there people that stream the GameFront update and commentate on our commentation?
That would be pretty interesting. Now I might go home and just see if I can find someone in another country that'll be willing to do that.
Willing to do it?
Yeah.
They might still be waiting for us to end. They're like, God, these guys. There's like 3 guys somewhere overseas that have to do the streaming. And they're like, oh, the show keeps going. I want to go home. Sorry.
I want to go home.
Sick fantasy right there.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like.
Comment.
And subscribe.
You can end your stream now. Everything from here on is uncovered.